We'll be ranking the identified kaiju from kaiju number 8 based on their strength and abilities. However, to keep things fair and accurate, we'll only include kaiju we've seen in the action or know enough about. That means kaiju number 3, 5, and 7 won't be included. Additionally, kaiju number 4 will also be left out since the information we have on it is extremely limited. With that said, let's dive into the strongest kaiju we can rank. Starting in last place is kaiju number 13, the biggest letdown in the story. Despite its high fortitude rating of 9.2 and solid stats, it failed to make a real impact. Unlike its siblings who fought captains or numbered weapon users, number 13 was sent to fight a platoon leader. That alone says a lot about where it ranks in kaiju number 9's hierarchy. Sure, it blitzed and overpowered its opponent at first, but it couldn't finish the job against Shinonome. The moment kaiju number 8 arrived, it was over in a single punch. The fact that number 9 decided to eat kaiju with a specific target in mind implies that number 13's intended role was minor from the start, probably created to test the waters or stall rather than truly threaten. It had raw speed and strength, but no abilities beyond muscle enhancement, and in a series filled with creative power and intelligent kaiju, number 13 just didn't measure up. Then, in 10th place, we have the very first identified kaiju to receive a number, kaiju number 1. In life, kaiju number 1 had one key ability, pseudo-foresight. Its ability could detect the synaptic impulses of opponents, basically predicting their next move and launching unavoidable attacks. But here's the problem. Even with that fearsome power, kaiju number 1 never fully realized its own potential. We see this clearly when the captain of the 1st Division, Narumi, using its numbered weapon, evolves its foresight far beyond what the kaiju itself achieved, now detecting electrons, heat, and terrain shifts. The fact that Jan surpassed it using the same base power shows just how underdeveloped kaiju number 1 really was. Its raw strength and hype might have earned it a legendary spot in history, but in terms of actual threat level, it's the weakest on this list. In 9th place, we have kaiju number 11, who was clearly designed for one thing, countering Jan Narumi. Created by kaiju number 9 and infused with Isayu's memories, number 11 not only knew Jan's fighting style, but had a unique tailor-made ability made to bypass his foresight. Its power, hydrokinesis, allowed it to manipulate water. This was critical because Jan's combat style relies on reading electrical signals and muscle movement, something he couldn't do with water. That said, this ability is incredibly niche. Against any other opponent who doesn't rely on pseudo-foresight, number 11's edge completely disappears, and even with all its tailor-made advantages, it still lost once Jan evolved his foresight mid-battle. That's why it ranks low on this list, powerful but way too specific. In 8th place, kaiju number 15 is one of the most unique and psychologically terrifying kaiju in the series. Created specifically to defeat Kikoru, it specializes in mental warfare, using psychic attacks to paralyze opponents, drag them into subconscious illusions, and force them to relive trauma. Not only that, but it also showcased top-tier speed, flying, shapeshifting, and even launching deadly energy beams mid-combat. However, despite this impressive arsenal, its raw destructive power doesn't measure up to the kaiju higher on this list. While it did eliminate a whole platoon in one blast, it never demonstrated the overwhelming area of effect, destruction, or physical dominance that other kaiju like those in the upper ranks. That's why, despite its terrifying powers, it ranks lower. In 7th place, kaiju number 14 is one of the most visually distinct, mechanically unique kaiju introduced in the series, and its abilities reflect that. It appears as a floating black monolith with 4 human-like faces that smile eerily as it tears through the cities. Its strength lies primarily in its incredible mobility and ranged firepower. Number 14 can levitate freely, making it highly maneuverable in combat, and more importantly, it possesses the rare ability to teleport across short distances. This allows it to dodge attacks, especially useful when facing enemies like Mina, whose long-range sniping is designed to end fights before they begin. On the offensive side, number 14 can fire 4 high-powered energy beams simultaneously, each one capable of obliterating entire city blocks in a single volley. It demonstrated this during the second wave arc, where it dismantled the surrounding urban area while evading detection. Number 14 seemed at first like a near untouchable threat, slippery, destructive, and almost uncatchable. However, its greatest weakness is durability. While its shield and agility protected from conventional attacks, its actual body is extremely fragile once breached. Mina Ashiro managed to hit it with a single sniper shot fired mid-air under pressure, yet it still completely destroyed number 14 in one blow. What's more, that one shot doesn't even appear to be one of Mina's maximum output attacks. This makes it clear that while number 14 can dish out punishment and avoid retaliation for a while, it can't survive a single clean hit from a top-tier opponent. In short, kaiju number 14 is the definition of a glass cannon. In 6th place, we have Kaiju number 2, known as the Daikaiju of Destruction. It earns its high placement on this list entirely due to its monstrous physical attributes. Despite the fact that we never saw it engage in direct combat on panel, the implications of its legacy and performance as a numbered weapon speak volumes. Number 2 was so powerful during its rampage in 1972 that it nearly wiped out an entire city of Sapporo, and its neutralization was considered one of the most difficult in Defense Force history. Its body was so potent that it could only be weaponized by someone of Isao Shinomiya's extraordinary caliber, and even then, its power was said to push his physical limits. What we know about its abilities is minimal, but what little we do know suggests terrifying raw stats, immense strength, overwhelming durability, and the ability to emit sonic attacks and energy beams from its mouth. While these traits might sound familiar, since many kaiju possess some form of energy projection, Kaiju number 2s seem to be supercharged to a different degree, particularly when wielded by Isao through the numbered weapon. In fact, during Kafka's confrontation with Isao, the older commander was able to severely damage Kaiju number 8 using Kaiju number 2's power, putting him briefly on par with Daikaiju despite his age. Even then, it's clear that Isao was not using the Kaiju's full potential. He was limited by his own human physiology. That said, we can't rank Kaiju number 2 higher than others with confirmed feats because of one glaring issue: we simply haven't seen it fight. Most of what we know comes from the aftermath, its legend, the destruction it left behind, and what others have said about it. It's also notable that unlike other numbered kaiju, it lacks a distinctive signature ability that sets it apart. Its sonic blast and energy beams are powerful but not unique among its peers. So while Kaiju number 2 is arguably one of the strongest in terms of brute force and tankiness, the lack of actual combat displays and standout of special powers keeps it from breaking into the very top tier. It's a silent giant with the potential to dominate, but potential alone isn't enough. Kaiju number 10 marks the point in this ranking where we enter the realm of the truly elite. What sets Kaiju number 10 apart isn't one flashy, broken ability, it's his all-around combat versatility, overwhelming physical stats, and battlefield control that makes him so dangerous. Created as a prototype by Kaiju number 9, number 10 isn't just a powerhouse, he's a tactical threat who can fight toe-to-toe with top defense force officer, summon swarms of subordinate kaiju, and even adapt mid-fight by growing stronger. In terms of raw stats, number 10 is a fortitude 9 beast who can casually level buildings with a punch, tank rapid-fire sword strikes from Vice Captain Soshiro Hoshina, and swat opponents across the entire city blocks. His immense speed and reflexes are equally frightening, keeping pace with one of the fastest melee fighters in the force. On top of that, his gigantification ability allows him to increase his power even further mid-battle, giving him a significant second wind and making him exponentially harder to put down. And unlike many kaiju who rely on a single special move, number 10 is a complete fighter. He has regeneration, can fire projectiles from his fingers, sprout appendages, and extra eyes at will. What pushes number 10 into the elite tier isn't just power, it's his mentality. His love for combat gives him sharp instincts and high battle IQ, letting him adapt mid-fight and thrive under pressure. He lives to fight, and that mindset makes him far more dangerous than just his stats alone. Kaiju number 12 ranks this high because it's not just a powerhouse, it's a refined weapon of war, created as the ultimate version of Kaiju number 10. It takes everything that made number 10 dangerous: physical strength, swordsmanship, speed, and perfect sit. But what truly sets number 12 apart is its adaptability. In the middle of the battle, it doesn't just keep up, it learns. When Soshiro switched to a new single blade style, number 12 instantly copied it, crafting his own sword out of its body and countering blow for blow. Despite its silent, emotionless demeanor, number 12 showed frightening combat intelligence, calmly analyzing and replicating elite techniques in real time. It matched the defense force's best close-quarter combat fighter, broke his weapons, adapted to every tactic, and nearly came out on top. Even after its core was pierced, it tried to keep fighting. Number 12 isn't just a fighter, it's the kind of kaiju that evolves while you're trying to kill it. That adaptability makes it one of the most dangerous threats the defense force has ever faced. Kaiju number 6 ranks this high because it's not just strong, it's legendary. With a recorded fortitude level of 9.6, the third highest in the entire series, this Daikaiju wasn't nicknamed the King of Kaiju for nothing. During its rampage a decade ago, it triggered one of the most catastrophic events in history, killing over 200 defense force officers, including 3 captains, and plunging Odawara into a supernatural snowstorm. Kaiju number 6 had elite battlefield control thanks to its cryokinetic powers, able to freeze entire regions and summon multiple Honshu-class allies. Even in death, its impact is immense. Its corpse was turned into number 6 weapon, a suit so powerful powerful and dangerous that no one could handle it for years. That is, until Reno Ichikawa. Reno, a prodigious officer with remarkable resolve, now wields the weapon, and even at just 51% synchronization, he can wipe out entire Daikaiju hordes with ease. Through him, we get a clear picture of how frightening number 6 truly was. The suit replicates its ice abilities, allowing Reno to freeze enemies on contact, launch freeze rounds, and even blanket battlefields in cryogenic destruction. The suit amplifies Reno's speed, durability, and reflexes. And that's the terrifying part. This is just a fraction of what number 6 could do in life. Everything we see through Reno is a diluted echo of its true strength. A kaiju that could decimate the best of the defense force, summon others to battle, and freeze the world around it, deserves a spot among the elite threats in the series. Kaiju number 8 earns its place at second due to his unparalleled physical capabilities, ranking as the most powerful kaiju in terms of raw stats with a staggering fortitude level of 9.8, the highest in the entire series. As a human turned kaiju, Kafka Hibino possesses a vast arsenal of powers that continue to evolve as the story progresses, making him near unstoppable force of battle. In his kaiju form, Kafka demonstrates immense physical strength, able to defeat powerful Honju and identified kaiju with a single punch, and overpower opponents using brute force alone. Even with only partial transformations, he can lift vehicles and tear through kaiju corpses like paper. His durability is just as impressive, tanking lethal attacks from the likes of Kaiju number 9, Isao Shinomiya, and the ancient Meideki era Daikaiju without a serious damage. After transforming his human heart into a kaiju core, Kafka's resilience skyrockets, allowing him to shrug off city-destroying blows with little more than a nosebleed. Kafka's speed and reflexes are equally elite. He's fast enough to dodge Vice Captain Hoshina's sword strikes and outrun high-level energy barrages, and strong enough to deflect or redirect them. His energy manipulation allows him to enhance physical strikes, create powerful blasts, and unleash destructive energy roars that can neutralize enemy attacks. He can use his energy to create thruster-like boost mid-fight, combining shape-shifting and mobility to deliver devastating punches. In terms of adaptability, Kafka's ability to morph individual body parts, limbs, tentacles, even jaws, makes him unpredictable in close combat. He's also developed specialized martial arts techniques like the Rising Blast and Twin Blast, evolving traditional defense force combat styles into something that fits his monstrous strength. Even more terrifying is his regeneration, which lets him recover from serious damages and even reform from his core if necessary. Finally, Kafka's recent evolution has given him access to a limitless energy source powered by the hatred and rage of ancient warriors, fueling his kaiju form with what he describes as a pitch-black fuel. After gaining his new form, his energy became unmeasurable, putting him in a completely separate class from every other kaiju or human in the series. Kaiju number 9 takes the top spot, not just for his raw strength, but for his terrifying adaptability and mastery over kaiju biology. He's not just a powerhouse, he's a shape-shifting, regenerating tactician with access to countless stolen abilities. Even in his base form, number 9 was a threat with a fortitude level of 8.5, but through absorbing others, especially kaiju number 2, he's evolved into a near unstoppable force. He can clone himself into powerful duplicates like Beta and Gamma, shapeshift to infiltrate humans, spawn kaiju like number 10, 11, 12, and 13, 14, and 15, and fight with high-speed projectiles, lightning attacks, and kaiju corpses. His regeneration is so advanced, he's regrown his head mid-battle, and after absorbing Isao Shinomiya, he gained the commander's full combat knowledge and technique. But after being defeated by Kafka, number 9 unleashes his Daikaiju of Meideki era powers, pushing him beyond comprehension. In this form, his fortitude becomes immeasurable. This form isn't just power, it's extinction incarnate. Number 9 loses all restraint, becoming a beast driven purely by destruction. It's the apex of kaiju evolution, and the nightmare that earns him the number 1 spot.